Would you like a cup of tea? The answer is yes. Good morning and welcome back to my life. If you can hear like a weird noise in the background, the washing machine is on. There's always something going on in the background to make my life a little bit more difficult. Everybody's life is difficult, Claire, so just get over it. As I have said many times, tea is life. Today I have a little treat for you. I'm going to teach you my world famous tea recipe. I don't have a world famous cup of tea recipe, but I am going to show you how to make the perfect cup of tea. If you're wondering, this video is all about tea. It deserves its own video. I'm going to teach you today how to make the perfect cup of tea if you ever want to make a nice cup of tea. And I'm going to teach you the etiquette around tea because it's very important in the UK. Rule number one, if you ever go around to somebody's house and they're British and they offer you a cup of tea, you say yes. Because if you say no, anarchy in Britain. If somebody is British and another person is British and one offers the other person a cup of tea and the other person says no, then immediately there's tension in the room. Rule number two, when you say tea, you have to say, cup of tea? Would you like a cup of tea? Would you like a cup of tea? Rule number three, tea is better than coffee. It's not really a rule, it's just a fact. We have a bag of teas. A bag of teas? Numerous teas. This is a tea bag. Isn't she pretty? Yes. You take a nice cup. This is quite a nice shape, this cup. Nice shape. Good size for a cup of tea. This is not a good size for a cup of tea. This here, this is an unacceptable size. This is as big as my head. So someone offers you this, you tell them, this is a soup bowl. It's not really, but it should be. Look at it. Doggies! Doggies! Like, I love it, but this is acceptable. And it also has a doggy on. This is acceptable. Acceptable cup of tea size. Never seen this mug in my life. This is acceptable. This is even acceptable because this is like a little cup. This is like, oh yes, I'd love a cup of tea, but just a little one, please. There's latte on it, but we'll ignore that because that's just offensive. This is an acceptable cup of tea because it's tall. So tall's okay, but big wide soup bowl, that's not okay. This is good for if you really want a nice long cup of tea on a morning. And you're like, I just don't want my tea to end because I love it. Okay, see you. Now we've been over cup sizes, I'll pointlessly put all these cups back in the cupboard because never underestimate the value of a good cup. I've just realised that you can hear the washing machine so badly in the background that it sounds like a train. In the UK we have kettles. So we're going to fill up the kettle with water, like so. And then we're going to boil the kettle. And we're going to wait for it to boil. Okay, let's do that. Okay, sorry about that. Before we go any further, we need to talk seriously about tea bags. There are acceptable tea bags and there are unacceptable tea bags, believe it or not. I personally like a breakfast tea. I consider it to be a traditional British tea, but it's not, so I'm robbing somebody of tea because I'm pretty sure tea doesn't originate from the UK. Where does tea originate from?
China. The story of tea begins in China.
Tea was seen as inherently British, and tea drinking was encouraged by the British government because of the revenue gained by taxing tea. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tea is something we're proud of and it was forced upon us by the government. Tea actually originates from China, but the UK takes credit for it because the government kind of made us like it. But nevertheless, I still love it. We drink tea here, even though we stole it from China and had it forced upon us by propaganda. I like a breakfast tea. Some people like Earl Grey tea. Some people like Earl Grey tea. Earl Grey belongs to the bin. The Queen, she drinks Earl Grey tea, but who cares because the Queen's a bin. It was a joke. Don't arrest me. Most of Britain, the UK, drink breakfast tea. The classics in the UK are PG Tips, Yorkshire tea, Tetley, Twinings, that's quite a posh one. Lately I have been growing accustomed to Yorkshire tea. So it's quite nice and strong. But other than that, I'm not fussy. I'm not fussy, love. I'll take it how it comes. If you skint, then get, you know, the cheapest brand tea you can. But I must stress, value teas, it tastes like dirt. It tastes like somebody swept up all the like loose tea that like was scattered around a factory somewhere, put it into a bag and then served you it as tea. It tastes like shit. Stay away from value tea. Now we've covered tea bags. The proper British way to drink tea is to use a teapot. A teapot! You have to say it like that. Hi! Ugh! And you also need a dog if you're going to be British and drink tea, because dogs are another important part of our culture. You take the teapot, and then depending on how many people are drinking the tea, then you go, right, there's 4 of us. That's 1 tea bag per person, I think. I could be wrong on that. You take a teapot, a rather nice teapot, and then you put in 3 tea bags if there's 3 people, and you put the boiling hot water into the teapot, and you let it sit. So you'd leave it into brew, which means the tea sits in the hot water, it gets all like swirly and nice, and it goes all brown and rich and beautiful. Once you have it to the desired strength, you take your mug. Mug was it? We're cheating because we don't have a teapot, but if you want to be all proper and British about it, then, you know, get a teapot. But we just, in this household, we don't have a teapot. So there's the cup, there's the tea bag. I take sugar, I take 1 sugar, and I believe this is the perfect way to drink tea. So if you've never drank tea before and you're thinking about starting, try it this way. 1 teaspoon of sugar. In it goes. You get the kettle. Here we go. Ooh, look at the steam. Steamy. There you go. And then you let the tea bag. Excuse me. Sorry for that rude interruption. Then you take milk, right? Okay, controversial. I'm a vegan, so I'm going to use almond milk. Traditionally, and I'm not arguing with this point, but you know, veganism's healthier, just saying. You can use cow's milk. You would put the milk in, whatever milk you use at this point, you would put the milk in. Get the tea bag out of the cup, okay? Out of it. Tea bag out. Give it a good old stir. And there we have it. That is a nice looking cup of tea. Cheers. Oh yeah. A big no-no to making tea is you never, ever, ever, ever put the milk in first. Okay? If you put the milk in first, then you should be punished by law. We don't like to talk about these people, but they do exist. They put the tea bag in the cup, and then they put the milk in, and then they put the hot water in. It's not okay. These people need help. And at the very least, these people should have soggy biscuits for life. If it looks like milk, then you're not okay, and it should never look like milk. If someone had you a cup of tea and it looks like milk and water, then you should throw it at them. If they give you it a bit browner than this, that I've got here, you know, a bit strong, then you can gracefully accept that. If they give you it and it looks like tar, then that's not okay either. And you tell them, where's the milk? Hello, can I have some milk with my tea, please? And you send it back, because that's, I'll flash a few images now. Now we know how to make the perfect cup of tea. Try tea. If you've never tried tea before, you don't know what you're missing, okay? Once you go tea, you won't go back. Coffee, schmoffy. Stay on the right track. And if you don't follow this advice, may you forever have lukewarm, soggy biscuit tea. Okay, subscribe if you like. Bye! Tea!